Guys, we've got massive fight news. Dana White just dropped a bomb. 3 title fights, 1 potential #1 contender fight, and the best part, 3 of those fights are happening on the same card. UFC 320 is stacked. Let's dive right in. The main event, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira 2, a huge rematch. You remember how intense their first fight was. This time we're going to see what Alex changes. Is he going to be more aggressive? Is he going to do more than just throw those leg kicks? Because if he does, that might just open him up to Ankalaev's deadly counter-striking. This is a fascinating fight, a mental chess match with knockout power on both sides. Then we've got the co-main event, Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. Yes, finally, no more waiting for the O'Malley trilogy. We've got a fresh matchup, and honestly, it's the right fight to make. Corey deserves this. But let's talk about Merab for a second. His pace is unbelievable. The guy's more active as a champion than he ever was as a contender. Just this year alone, he's had a fight with Umar, a rematch with Aljamain, and now he's stepping in again to face Corey. That's 3 title fights in 1 year. Where is Umar, though? It's been since January. Sure, there was that broken hand and the surgery, but come on, recovery from that is about 10 weeks. We want to see him back in there. But back to Merab. This guy is leading by example. Every other champion needs to look at him and learn. He's giving us what fans want. Activity, excitement, heart. Now, Corey is definitely going to be a tougher challenge than O'Malley, but honestly, who can stop Merab right now? Corey would need something wild, like a flying knee or a spinning elbow knockout, because otherwise I just don't see it happening. But hold on, before any of that, we've got Yuri Prochazka versus Khalil Roundtree, and this might be the best fight on the entire card. Even with 2 titles on the line, this might steal the show. You guys saw Khalil just recently beat Jamahal Hill, right? That was in June. Now, just 3.5 months later, he's already back to face Yuri. That's fast. That's warrior stuff. What about Carlos Ulberg, though? Wasn't he supposed to fight Yuri next? He just beat Jan Blachowicz. He was looking like the next guy in line, but if Khalil is stepping in, maybe Carlos wasn't ready. Maybe he needed more time, because look at the rankings. Everyone else is booked up. Magomed, Alex, Yuri, they're all fighting. Below that, Khalil is taken. Jan got beaten. Jamahal's already out. Carlos is just kind of stuck. Still, from a fan's perspective, Yuri versus Khalil is a much better fight. It's fireworks. They're going to meet in the center of the octagon and throw until one of them goes down. As of now, we only know 3 fights on this UFC 320 card, but that alone is enough to call it stacked. This card is happening on October 4th. Then later that same month, we've got another pay-per-view, UFC 321, and that one is headlined by a heavyweight title fight, Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. This will be Cyril Gane's 3rd shot at undisputed gold. First, it was against Francis Ngannou. Super close fight, and honestly a lot of people thought Cyril won. Then he went up against John Jones for the vacant title and got completely dominated in the first round. Now he's getting a 3rd shot, this time against Tom Aspinall. But let's be real here, Gane probably wouldn't be getting this shot if his win over Volkov wasn't so controversial. Volkov to many won that fight, and since Volkov was set to fight Jailton Almeida next, well, that leaves Aspinall versus Gane as the most logical title matchup. And I'll say this, I don't think any of them are going to beat Aspinall. This is Tom Aspinall's division. This will be his 2nd title defense, and he's got a serious grappling edge over Cyril. Not just that, Tom can strike too. He's fast, powerful, smart, and clean. He can dodge shots, land precise punches, and use his longer reach. Cyril's probably the only heavyweight who can match Tom's speed, but grappling, no chance. Tom's going to shoot a blast double leg, drag Gane to the mat, and finish him. 1st or 2nd round, that's what I think. It's been a while since we've seen Aspinall use his grappling, but don't forget, he's legit, and he's most likely going to dominate Cyril on the ground. So, while UFC 320 is shaping up to be incredible, UFC 321 is looking good too, especially if you're a Tom Aspinall fan. Oh, and there's more. With these fights being scheduled, it looks like Islam Makhachev is now likely fighting in November at Madison Square Garden against Jalen Turner. That fight might also be in December, but MSG in November makes more sense. It's a huge fight for New York. There isn't a bigger lightweight title fight right now, unless maybe Ilya versus Paddy gets booked. But let's be honest, Islam versus Jalen is a bigger, more meaningful fight. Now let's circle back to Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira 2. How is this fight going to go? Well, it might look a lot like their first one, depending on how Alex chooses to fight. Last time, he wasn't moving forward like usual. He wasn't aggressive. He was cautious and relied heavily on leg kicks. And here's the thing, because Ankalaev is a southpaw, Alex was forced to use those lead inside kicks. But those are way easier to check than the typical outside calf kicks you land in an orthodox versus orthodox matchup. Because of that, Alex wasn't doing the kind of damage we usually see him do. Meanwhile, Ankalaev was landing his own kicks. He even had that one combo in round 2 that rocked Alex. And Ankalaev's speed is a real problem for Alex. He can blitz forward, land clean, counter-strike quickly, and stay calm under pressure. He also has wrestling, which helps keep Alex guessing and on the back foot. That might explain why Alex was hesitant the first time. Maybe he was just worried about the takedown. But guess what? He stuffed all the takedowns in that fight. So now he's got that confidence, and he might come into the rematch more aggressive because of it, but that's risky. If Alex does press forward this time, uses his jab to the body, steps to the outside foot and throws the straight right, or follows up body kicks with punches, he might land early, or he might get caught. Ankalaev thrives on counter strikes. That's his world. Even in their first fight, you could see it. Alex throws, Ankalaev pivots or angles out, then fires back. He's quick, precise, and patient. If Alex tries to force the fight, it might actually make things easier for Ankalaev. This rematch is going to be all about chess. Striking chess with power behind every piece. My early pick, I think Ankalaev wins again, and this time, I think he finishes it. Probably in the third or fourth round, Alex's aggression might actually work against him, giving Ankalaev chances to counter or shoot takedowns. It's going to be a war, but one I think Ankalaev controls more decisively this time. Now let's get into the co-main event. Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. Let me just say it, this one is going to be crazy, but also possibly one-sided, because here's the thing about Merab, his pace is not human. He breaks people one by one. They all start out strong. They all come in with different styles, different plans, but by round 3, they all turn into the same fighter, exhausted, stuck in place, and just trying to survive. They can't keep up. Merab just does not slow down. Round after round, he gets stronger. He drags you into deep waters and doesn't let go. Jan couldn't keep up. O'Malley couldn't keep up. Umar couldn't keep up. All of them slowed down by the third round. Corey Sandhagen, yeah, he's got good cardio, maybe better than most, but we've seen this story before, so what does Corey have to do? He has to get something big early. A flying knee, a head kick, something wild and unpredictable. That's his best shot. Trying to outpoint Merab over 5 rounds? Not going to work. You don't outpace Merab, you end him, or he ends you slowly. Now, to be fair, Corey's got weapons. He's long, rangy, creative, and his combos can catch anyone. Stylistically, he's one of the better guys to attempt something against Merab, but Merab is no fool. He knows those knees are coming. He knows the head kicks are loaded. And Corey's biggest weakness compared to the other guys? Takedown defense. Even if Corey stands back up, and he might, Merab is just going to keep dragging him down again and again and again. It's exhausting. You waste so much energy just getting back to your feet. And right when you do, boom, back on the mat, over and over. That's how Merab breaks people, not with a single big shot, but with the sheer relentless grind. So how does this one end? Honestly, it's looking like another dominant decision for Merab. And if he isn't already the greatest bantamweight of all time, this win might seal it. 3 title fights in 1 year. Constant pressure. No ducking, no stalling, just fights. That's championship stuff. Alright, now let's talk about the fight I'm personally most excited about. Jiří Procházka versus Khalil Rountree. Yes, more than the 3 title fights, more than Aspinall. This right here might be the banger of the year. Because these two, they're evenly matched and they're both killers. Let's break it down. Both of these guys have serious power. 1 clean shot and the fight's over. It could last 1 round, maybe 2, but not much more. What makes this special is, if they fought 10 times, I think they'd win 5 each. That's how wild and unpredictable this matchup is. Khalil's leg kicks, brutal. He can chop a tree down in seconds, and that's going to be a huge problem for Jiří. If Jiří lets him stay at range, Khalil will wreck his legs early. So Jiří has to do what Jiří always does. Walk forward, pressure, and take the chaos right to his opponent. Get in close, stay in boxing range, and try to make it ugly. If he can do that, he reduces the effect of those kicks. Now, the big question, who's faster? Khalil might have a slight edge in speed, but Jiří's head movement is sharper. Remember what he did to Jamahal Hill? Slipped, countered, boom, lights out. I could totally see him landing something like that on Khalil too. But make no mistake, Khalil is dangerous. He's got that modern, clean, powerful striking. No wasted movement, tight, patient, precise. He fights smart. That's the trend now. Solid base, pressure, not flash. Jiří's unpredictable. Khalil, calculated. And those leg kicks from Khalil could be a game changer. Chop Jiří's legs early, and it's hard for him to move, dodge, or slip. You take away the legs, you take away the defense. That's why I'm leaning slightly toward Khalil. Better fundamentals, more control. If he stays calm and targets Jiří's legs and body, he might finish it in the second round. But again, this fight's a toss-up. 1 mistake, 1 shot, and it flips. That's why it's so exciting. Let's zoom out. UFC 320, Ankalaev versus Pereira. 2, Merab versus Corey. Jiří versus Khalil. UFC 321, Aspinall versus Gane, and possibly Islam versus Jalin at MSG in November, end of the year. Absolutely stacked. For me, the one I'm most hyped about, Jiří versus Khalil. 3 title fights on 1 card, but that fight, pure chaos. Heart, danger, and fireworks. That's it for today. If you enjoyed the breakdown, hit like, subscribe, tap the bell, and let me know. Which fight are you most excited for? See you in the next one.